acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf. So, Chad, you had Kristi Noem's job under President Trump in his first term. You know what's at stake here. I'm really surprised to see that the pace, which Tom Homan just said is about 94% of border crossings down, is not fast enough, and that they're replacing the acting ICE director. What's different now than when we were there? And I think that we got deportations down, but there's so much resistance by the system, by the establishment. What do you think is different now that's enabling the pace to go so quickly?
Well, I think two things. Primarily, the environment is different today than it was in 2017. You've had 4 years of President Biden's disastrous border security policy, and the American people want to change. And then two would be just the knowledge base that the Trump administration has. They did it for 4 years. They know what works. They also know what doesn't work. And so what you've seen here, Kellyanne, is 4 weeks of unprecedented action. And I see that, they are moving forward on removing repatriations and deportations. Doesn't appear as though it's going as fast as they would like, but it is well ahead of obviously where President Biden was and certainly where President Trump was in his first term. So I think they're off to a good start.
Temporary protected status. I want our viewers to hear from you, given the fact that you're acting DHS secretary, what this is and what it is not, because people say, oh my goodness, you can't take away temporary protection from people who are persecuted or who are harmed. This was, in the case of Haiti, it was meant to help them many, many years ago when they were surviving a natural disaster, for example. But it means that you are temporarily protected and don't have a right to be here otherwise, but for that extenuating circumstance. And I saw that 17 countries were in there. It's being abused, in other words. So can you just explain to us once and for all how it works and how it's being abused?
Well, it's absolutely being abused, and the Trump team knows this. Look, temporary protective status is supposed to be just that, temporary in nature. But what previous administrations have done, Republican and Democrats alike, has just continued to extend and re-extend this designation. So for Haiti, for instance, it's been going on for 15 years. And so for 15 years, we're saying that the conditions have not improved any from the earthquake that they had back in 2010. And so while you had 57,000 Haitians eligible for TPS in 2010, you have over 520,000 eligible in 2024. And so what it tells you is there's been a misapplication of the law over the years. And this becomes a magnet for illegal immigration, because whether you're coming from Haiti legally or illegally, TPS still applies to you. And so it's a magnet to have folks come here illegally, hoping that they'll get TPS and be able to stay here. And so the Trump administration has said, look, we're going back to the law. We're going to make sure that the application of the law is what's intended. It's temporary. It's not forever. And they're going to eliminate that magnet for illegal immigration as well.
And what about Secretary Noem's action just this week, Chad Wolf, in deploying 600 folks from the State Department to help with the border?
Yeah, this is great, right? This falls on the heels of authorizing DEA, ATF, and other law enforcement agents to help ICE go out and do their job, particularly in sanctuary cities where ICE can't go to a jail setting where they would in other cities, but they actually have to go into the neighborhood. So while you have ICE officers going in and tracking down these criminal aliens, you have other law enforcement officers making sure that they're watching out for those officers, right? They're looking behind the house or behind the facility. They're making sure that no one's going to interfere with the operation. So you still have law enforcement officers, ICE officers, doing that immigration mission, but you're having the support of other law enforcement officers, and in this case, State Department officers, helping them, because this is one of President Trump's top priorities. And so what you see now, very different than what you saw previously, is this is a whole of government effort, and I think they're going to be very successful.
And in the remaining seconds we have, whole of government really applies to fentanyl, too. I'm so glad President Trump has reintroduced that into the American lexicon. He's committed to getting fentanyl out of our country. Law enforcement interdiction, recovery and treatment, and certainly education and prevention. With the time we have remaining, how successful can this actually be to get fentanyl to stop coming into our communities and our kids' veins?
Well, look, if anyone can do it, it's President Trump, who continues, as you said, to put this on the forefront of one of his many priorities. You didn't hear President Biden at all talk about the fentanyl crisis or his solution set to it. He almost ignored it for 4 years. And what President Trump has done with the cartels and designate them as a foreign terrorist organization, he's going at the heart of the problem. So whether it's the human trafficking and the illegal narcotics and the fentanyl that's coming across the border, the cartels are at the heart of it. And President Trump knows this and understands that.
Chad Wolf, former acting DHS Secretary at America First Policy Institute, thank you so much.